and the pendulum swings. Birth, death, chaos, order, collective, individual, intuition, rationality, primitive, enlightened. Life is neither logical or illogical, it is simply given. To understand the world, however, logic is paramount. Science aims to be objective. As order, unity and improvement dissolves, morality sweeps the sciences. Morality is subjective to each of us. Collectively, we share unconscious morality, procedures and traditions. We are mostly consciously unaware of fundamentals of our morality, or at best we have intuitions and feelings. Humans are product of their time in history, generations, circumstances, environment, people around us, groups we belong to, and genetics we inherit. It is rational to realize that everybody is product of their time in history due to cultural influence and peer pressure that installs distinctive values to each of us. As children, we learn habits, traditions, and opinions of our parents. As we grow, exploration is guided by innate and learned intuitions and emotions, slowly turn into rationalization of our surroundings, from unknown to known, from chaos to order, from dark to light. We become acquainted with our peers, but the world of adults is still not fully recognizable. We experience and share those experiences with our generation. In our teens, we have different interpretations of the world of our parents, thus we conceptualize the world uniquely. Based on our experience, which we share with our generation, we are starting to form self-image. That image is sure to differ from our parents. We belong to our generational tribe with the unique experience it has. It might be plagued with war or economic downturn, or boost in fertility and economics, maybe even accompanied with technological advancements. Eventually we give birth to generational perspective, and in our 30s and 40s we finally reach the positions of power. The generation of our parents is in their 50s and are at the peak of their power. Our different views of the world are bound to clash. As our generation pushes their identity on society and reaches top positions of power, we are starting to observe younger generation emerging. They have their own identity, which will be different from ours. This is called the spirit of the time, the zeitgeist. And the pendulum starts. 1. Silent generation, 1922-1945. Independent and individual, conventional in nature but confused in morals. They had to grow up fast in a chaotic surroundings in scarcity. Characteristics: individualistic, materialistic, alcohol, sex and money. Cynical attitude towards life, traditional nuclear family. Education only for the chosen ones. Save money, avoid credit. 2. Baby boomers. Born in 1946 to 1964. Large generation crowded the infrastructure, school quarters. Large families. Large families learn to share and work in groups. They modified their environment with open spaces and room to gather in groups. Characteristics: idealistic propensity to moralize, optimistic and involved, disintegration of families, education a birthright, buy now, pay later. Generation X, 1965-1976. Individualistic children who grew in fast-paced entertainment and ever-decreasing family time, characterized by a low birth rate. After 80s and 90s economic recessions, their loyalty to employers plummeted. Characteristics: skeptical, informal and funny, home alone kids, proper education is possible for all, cautious, conservative, save, save, save. 4. Millennials. 1977-1995. Optimistic and risk-averse performance with helicopter parents. Millennials are technically advanced and enjoy social networking. Characteristics: realist, confident, pragmatic and social. Merge families. Education is getting expensive. Earn your money to spend it. 5. Generation Z, 1995 onwards. Generation Z has grown in technology. They are individual specimens with stay-at-home parents. They have distanced themselves from tradition. They even need reminders that work and personal life might not be synonyms. They are connected but mainly operate from individual perspective, online behind their social facade. Characteristics: merged families. Look at me, I'm individual, special and funny. Money needs to be spent, I'll pay later. Each generation imagines itself to be more intelligent than the one that went before it and wiser than the one that comes after it. George Orwell. This pattern has operated at least 3,000 years, not precise enough to be called a science, but repeating patterns nevertheless. Each and every one of us is a product of our generation, whether we admit it or reject the idea. If one chooses to accept it, the repeating pattern becomes visible. In a Babylonian clay tablet, written around 1000 BC, there is a familiar tone to generational myopia in action. Today's youth is rotten, evil, godless and lazy. It will never be what youth used to be, and it will never be able to preserve our culture. This, however, is not unique. Similar patterns are found in all cultures. In every generation there is variance. However, even variance follows predictable patterns. At least 3 caricatures emerge time after time. 1. Individuals who are more aggressive than others. They will most likely become leaders. They will sense the pattern first and challenge the generation in power. 2. Large group that is excited about new trends. They adapt, share and promote these values. 3. Rebels who deny their own generation and work against the trends. They are as much product of their generation as anyone, characterized by the generation but choosing to oppose it. In sum, the generational pattern. 1. Revolutionary. New values and chaos. Great leaders emerge. 2. Order. Having lived through the chaotic period. Stability and dogma. 3. Pragmatist. Disconnected from the revolution, solves problems and makes life as comfortable as possible. Less idealistic, interested in building things. Materialistic, individualistic. 4. Nihilist. Feeling the lack of trained spirit, they question the values inherited and might become cynical. Sense of confusion. They will be replaced by revolutionary gen, which unites behind new order and set of values, behind great leaders. And the pendulum keeps swinging. To be continued.